This is a stimulus check update and daily news report. Got some big updates to share with you. House has passed a new bill. I'll give the details of what was in that bill. President Biden touts record high job numbers that were created in January, as well as a few other things in his speech, which I'll play for you. I'll give you the latest of what's going on with the Build Back Better bill, how more stimulus money is going out to people in 4 different states, and how one state is extending the deadline to apply for $2,000 and $4,000 checks. And I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So House passes sweeping China competition bill. So what was in this bill? What was it for? What's it about? How did the votes come out? Take a look at this video clip right here explaining all the details.
Well, good morning, Carl. You're right. The House has passed the America Competes Act largely along party lines. The final vote tally was 222 to 210. One Republican voted for it, one Democrat voted against it. There's several of the main provisions have had bipartisan support in the past. Now, this is the bill that would provide $52 billion to the semiconductor industry. It also authorizes $45 billion for supply chain shortages, and it includes a number of measures aimed at taking on China. Now, the Senate passed a version of this bill last summer. It had strong bipartisan support back then, and now GOP senators are calling to quickly set up a conference committee to begin hashing out the differences between the two chambers. And the White House has made getting this to the president's desk a top priority, guys. The business community has been waiting for this for a long time as well. For now, the House passing this bill 222 to 210. Back to you.
What are your thoughts on that as tensions are heating up between the U.S. and China? What do you think about U.S. Olympians going to China and all the issues going on with China? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. So Biden touts January jobs gain in face of Omicron surge. Over 467,000 jobs were created in January. Take a look at President Biden's speech right here.
America is back to work. Today we learned that in January our economy created 467,000 jobs. But that's not all. We learned that job growth in November and December over last year was revised up by more than 700,000 jobs. On top of that, 400,000 jobs that on top of the 400,000 that were previously reported. This morning's report caps off my first year as president. And over that period, our economy created 6.6 million jobs. 6.6 million jobs. You can't remember another year when so many people went to work in this country. There's a reason. It never happened. Take a look at the chart. You can look at the last, all the way back to President Reagan. Look how many jobs we created in an average per month. This is, it's never happened before. And look, history's been made here. But it comes alongside the largest drop in unemployment rate in a single year on record, the largest reduction in childhood poverty ever recorded in a single year, and the strongest economic growth this country has seen in nearly 40 years. Historic economic progress. And I'm proud of the role the administration played in this economic plan has played in the recovery.
What are your thoughts on this? Did President Biden do a good job with job creation? Does he take responsibility for this? Is he doing a good job, bad job? Let me know your thoughts on all that down in the comments below. So what's going on with the Build Back Better? So Tim Kaine believes Manchin will eventually sign on to smaller Build Back Better bill. So a lot of Democrats are very hopeful that Manchin will be on board, although Manchin says otherwise, and his actions show that he is not fully on board with any type of Build Back Better bill, and people still don't really know what Joe Manchin wants. Take a look at this video clip right here, given the latest of the Build Back Better bill.
This week, West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin said President Biden's ambitious social spending and climate plan was dead. The president's nearly $2 trillion Build Back Better Act has already passed in the House, but it has been stalled in the Senate for months. Senator Manchin is key to getting the legislation passed, and support from all 50 Democratic senators is needed to move it forward without Republicans' help. But he has been unwilling to get behind it, citing concerns over rising inflation and the national debt. For more, I'm joined by CBS News reporter Sarah Ewall-Weiss. Sarah, what is Senator Manchin looking for in this bill before he can commit to supporting it?
Hi, Nikki. You know, this has been the question, I think, of the day, of the week, of the month, and for a lot of last year. What does Senator Joe Manchin want? And it still really is not clear exactly what he wants to see included in a package that can move forward. You know, he made headlines this week when he said that the Build Back Better Act is dead, but there were some follow-up questions later in the day on Capitol Hill where he talked about the House version of the bill that passed last year. That almost $2 trillion package was dead, but he said formal talks have not really restarted yet, and so that remains to be seen. But this is really an uphill climb for Democrats in the Senate because, you know, you mentioned two of those things that Senator Manchin wants to address. The debt limit, of course, the national debt hit $30 trillion for the first time this week. And then we have inflation, which has been an ongoing issue through most of last year and into this year. And we know that the Federal Reserve is expected to start raising interest rates to combat inflation starting in March, but we don't expect inflation to ease until the second half of this year. And supply chain issues, which have been fueling some of that inflation, could continue for some time to come. We do know that there will be a new report on inflation looking at the numbers and how much prices went up last month coming next week. It'll be very interesting to see how Senator Joe Manchin specifically reacts to those new numbers next week. That will provide some insight maybe into what he's willing to talk about in terms of more spending moving ahead in the weeks and months to come.
Sarah, what is the White House's goal now? How does the administration plan to move forward with passing the president's agenda?
You know, this is still the president's agenda, even though it has seen setbacks. And the White House was asked this week specifically about Manchin saying that the Build Back Better Act is dead. And they're still saying they want to get as much passed in a piece of legislation as possible. We know that the president has said that he expects this will have to be broken up into pieces, but they still want to have these conversations and negotiate. One thing to keep in mind is it feels like the Build Back Better Act, especially this week and in recent weeks, has really been put on the back burner. I mean, we know that the Senate is going to have to talk about a Supreme Court nominee and go through that confirmation process in the months to come. Right now, lawmakers in the House and the Senate really need to reach a deal in terms of spending. If they don't reach a budget deal, of course, spending runs out in the middle of this month, and we could see a government shutdown moving forward. So that is something that also has taken some presidents on the Hill and is a priority right now. But also in terms of the House, they've passed their legislation and they feel like they've kind of moved on, at least for now, in terms of what they're focused on. They've introduced this Competes Act this week that focuses on innovation and manufacturing, competing with China, and kind of gets at the supply chain issues and the chip shortage that we've seen. So they've been focused on that. But Speaker Pelosi this week said, of course, when asked about the dead legislation, the Build Back Better Act, she said, of course, it's never dead, and had talked about some of those priorities because they're so important to the Democratic Party moving forward.
Sarah, are there any points of agreement on this legislation between Manchin, Biden, and other Senate Democrats?
You know, I think it's hard to really get into the specifics. I mean, that is where the challenges have been. But interestingly enough, the Center for American Progress put out a memo just this week talking about a potential path forward for Build Back Better legislation and the social spending agenda for Democrats. And it really highlighted three components that they say that 50 senators, including Manchin, and a majority in the House of Democrats can get behind and move forward with. And one piece of that they talked about was the climate initiatives and some of the green energy provisions of the Build Back Better Act. Another piece of that Build Back Better Act that they say could have broad support is things that will help with health care costs, subsidies for health care, as well as allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices. And then the third component that they really emphasized in this is the child care and making that affordable. They talked about making it affordable. We know that is a huge burden right now for parents trying to pay for child care, but also universal pre-K is a huge component of this for 3- and 4-year-olds. So they think those things could move forward. Noticeably absent from that memo and something that we've seen a lot of different voices on the Hill over is those child tax credit payments that have been going out monthly. Of course, Senator Manchin had an issue with those. Other Democrats on the Hill have actually written to Senator Biden this year, still saying they want that to be a priority, but that was noticeably absent from this proposal for a path forward. It'll be interesting to see where that goes. It's probably one of those things, and the White House has acknowledged that will have to be split off from this for them to move forward on a piece of this agenda.
We've heard a lot of big predictions of what's going to happen with the Build Back Better bill. Many Democrats saying they're going to rebrand it, rename it, chop it up, make it smaller, pass it in pieces, but we haven't really seen much action with that yet. Just a lot of speculation up until this point. Let's get into stimulus. So more stimulus check money is coming if you live in these 4 states. So what are the 4 states and how much is it? So talking about California Golden State stimulus checks, so there could be a 3rd round of stimulus if you live in California. In New York, $2.1 billion stimulus fund has been established to benefit undocumented workers who were excluded from getting federal aid for the past 2 years. Eligible residents must have an annual income of less than $26,000 in 2020. Let me know your thoughts on this. Should undocumented workers get access to federal aid, not get access to federal aid? Let me know your thoughts on that. Then also, Florida, it's talking about here how Florida, and it seems likely that in the 2022 budget for Florida will include a bonus for teachers like $1,000 checks they received in 2021. So it looks like a new round of thank you checks for teachers going out in Florida. Is this a good idea, bad idea? Should they extend that to people besides just teachers? Another $1,000 to other residents, other people part of the community? Let me know your thoughts on that. And then also we have Indiana with a $125 check there. So those are the 4 states. Also, when it comes to a general 4 stimulus check, you may notice there's a lot of state stimulus checks, not so much the push for a general 4 stimulus check, but the $2,000 per month to every American petition is at 3,029,000 signatures so far, and one state is going to extend the deadline. So state extends deadline for excluded New Jerseyans fund. So what this is so because of the ongoing effects of the pandemic, the Excluded New Jerseyans Fund, ENJF, has extended its deadline to apply through February 28th. So basically, through this program, eligible applicants will receive a benefit of up to $2,000 per individual and a max of $4,000 per household as a one-time direct cash payment. You just have to show that you made less than $55,000, and applicants must present documentation showing they were excluded from both the federal stimulus checks and COVID-related unemployment assistance. So that is what's going on with New Jersey, $2,000 to $4,000 check there. And that is all the stimulus news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, I didn't see you there. Hi, this is Belle to the tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing when you feel something, when you feel like in a mood, tell the people that how you feel, how you feel like in your body. Don't try to hide it. Be exposed. Make people.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. Thank you again for being a part of the Wise Flies community. Here's some quick video clips of the kids. I think we're just gonna rest this weekend. My wife worked a 24 yesterday, got back this morning, and yesterday was a really rough day for me and a rough night. Kalea was just kind of crying all night, so it kind of makes me go crazy too. So I think we're just gonna chill out. Just relax for the rest of the day and the weekend. Hopefully you have a good weekend too. If you want to check out my latest video on my other channels, you could click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.